Keith, good win against Barrow at the weekend. Going on to York now, what are you expecting from the Knights?
Straight to the punch with the questions. Straight away what we're expecting, obviously. Endo's then got a little bit of a competition going out with them. They've got that one victory over us and we've got that one over them. So we had a real good performance against them last time out. So they might be smarting a little bit. They've got to improve their position in the table, and they'll be hoping to push on from their great win that they had at the weekend. Us, again, we need to keep on fighting, trying to keep climbing that table. It's the old saying, innit? We've sort of like dropped off a little bit. The destiny was in our own hands, and we've let ourselves down slightly, but we're not out of it in any context. So there's still a lot of work to be done, and I think we're excited by the challenge coming up against the York Knights.
On Sunday, a bit more like what we expect really from the Eagles rather than what we put up against Swinton.
Yeah, they can be hard games. Barrow have been playing well, but we went into that game favourites, as we should have done because of our position and how we've been playing. And it could have turned into a bad egg or rotten egg, whatever the saying is. But especially with us getting a man sent off quite early on in the game, and I think that was great for the group to bond together and show some resolve, some resilience, and some composure to pull that win off in the manner that they did.
How impressed were you with the reaction after V's red card?
You could see that they knew that the backs were against the wall. They adjusted, and Tubby will say that it was all a mastermind plan from him by only using one sub until half time, which meant that we could do a lot of rotations in the second half and try and keep as many people fresh as possible, because we were working the middles over. We wanted our middles to work really, really hard in that game, and I think they did. And losing Tyler as well was a big keystone, a big marker for us. But Kirky's coming, Oaks, he came in, Glover making his second debut again on the right edge. So I think the pack they put in a real good, resolute performance that day.
Very intense from the forwards as well. I mean, the whole team as well. But sat here in the media zone, some opposition members of the media always talk about how intense the Eagles are. It seems like that's a marker we set down for ourselves here.
I think probably we talk about intensity, we talk about pressure, and I think that's potentially, there's a little bit more added pressure on this team because of where we were in the table, how we've performed, how we started the season, and some of them need to now start getting that sort of right mentality, that attitude that they are a good team and they can't afford these little slip-ups, and that's when the pressure comes into it. Can they handle the pressure of being a good team instead of being a mid-table team, pushing for that top 6, for that top 4, for that top 2? I think it's open as this competition. Featherstone are cleared out leaders, but the rest of the positions are open for grabs, and it's up to this group of players to decide where they hopefully want to finish off the season.
And just moving on to this weekend, you mentioned obviously the challenge of the Knights. They seem to have turned a bit of a corner. The 2 wins in a row, I think. So, but as Tubbs always says, it's not about them; it's always about us.
Yeah, it's always about us. We know that. We know our capabilities. We know what we can do. But we've also had them off days. We've also had them days where we've not performed as well as what we should do. So we'll get them up for it, and no doubt they'll be up for it anyway, because York are a good team, but they're also a team that should be in a higher position than probably what they are. And Endo will know that. So he'll be disappointed, and it's for him to rally them troops. Bassey's gone there to the end of the season. He's gone there, and he'll have a point to prove. And obviously vice versa, Glover's come this way. So it makes an interesting tie. With Endo and Jed being over there, it's the old foes, as you say. The old Eagles have flown the nest and taken the step in their own coaching journey. But we want to get that scalp and we want that win, because like I've said, it's for us to try and cement further up the ladder as possible. Like I said, these boys know that I think the destiny's in their hands, and that's why it is always about us, because if they get the right attitude, focus, mentality, we can talk about all the buzzwords. there's no reason why these boys can't finish second, third in the table. So it's a marker for them to set, and they set it early on. They've had some hiccups. We can't afford many more hiccups, and this is the game that we can't hiccup.